In the Wheel of Time, there are ancient artifacts, forgotten prophecies, and power struggles that stretch across centuries. But one object in Season 3 sent chills down everyone's spine the moment it was introduced: the male atom, also known as the Domination Bands. This terrifying tool, designed to control men who can channel the One power, is not just another magical trinket. It's a weapon that could decide the fate of the Dragon Reborn himself. Let's walk through what the Domination Bands really are, how they came into play, and why they represent one of the greatest threats Rand al'Thor has ever faced. Spoilers ahead, please take care. If you've watched Season 2, you probably remember the Seanchan collaring Egwene with an atom. Essentially a collar-and-bracelet combo that lets one woman dominate another who can channel. It was brutal, it was dehumanizing, and it was unforgettable. Now, imagine that same concept, but for men, and worse. The Domination Bands, as we learn in Season 3, function similarly, but with a deadly twist. They require two women working together to control one male channeler. Why? Because the male half of the One power, Saidin, is not just wild. It's chaotic, poisoned by the Dark One's touch, and far more difficult to control. If Saidar, the female half of the power, is a flowing river to be embraced, Saidin is a storm to be wrestled into submission. That's why these bands are so dangerous. Even the women wielding them are at risk, and over time, the men inside the collar might begin to fight back and even take control of them instead. By Season 3, Rand has fully embraced his role as the Dragon Reborn. He's powerful, frighteningly so, and he's walking a tightrope between light and madness. The male atom comes into play just when his grip on control is at its weakest. It's not just another trap, it's a weapon custom designed for him. The Black Aja knows that Rand's power makes him the biggest threat and their biggest opportunity. If they can collar him with the bands, they won't just remove the world's last hope of salvation. They could twist him into a puppet of the shadow. That's the nightmare scenario everyone's trying to prevent. Let's rewind a bit and catch up with Nynaeve, Elaine, Mat, and men in Season 3, Episodes 3 through 6. Their journey to Tanchico is no vacation. It's a secret mission to stop the Black Aja, who are hunting for the ancient collar and bracelets needed to complete the Domination Bands. Elaine and Nynaeve first learn about the object when they find a sketch of a bracelet under the bed of Lindren's son, right next to a mysterious symbol that ties back to her past in Tanchico. The pieces start falling into place, and they realize that Lindren is after something much darker than they imagined. Meanwhile, in Episode 6, Mat finally gets his hands on one of the bracelets, thanks to a lucky tip and a few coins passed under the table. He gives it to Nynaeve, who clutches it like it's hope in physical form. But that hope is short-lived. Just when it seems like our heroes might stay a step ahead, the forsaken Moghedian appears, slipping into their circle like a ghost. She compels Nynaeve and Elaine, bends their minds with a cruel weave, and steals the bracelet right from their hands. Nynaeve puts up an incredible fight, her raw power pushing back for a moment, but it isn't enough. Moghedian doesn't just take the bracelet. She wipes their memories and leaves them bruised and empty, staring into nothing. All that remains is a cut on Nynaeve's cheek and the haunting knowledge that they just handed over a weapon that could be used to enslave Rand. Here's where things get especially twisted. The Domination Bands aren't just tools of control. They're symbols of everything Rand is fighting against, being used, being broken, being forced. And yet, ironically, he may be the only person strong enough to resist them. It's hinted that the Dragon Reborn, given enough time, can actually wrest control back from the women wielding the bracelets. That makes the bands a double-edged sword. If used on Rand, there's a very real chance he could turn the weapon around, but not before immense damage is done. And if the wrong Forsaken, like Semi-Rage, ever gets her hands on the complete set, we could be looking at a version of Rand who destroys the world. Not by accident, but under the control of the Shadow. Semi-Rage is one of the Forsaken, sure, but she's not just a servant of the Dark One. She is pain perfected, a former healer in the Age of Legends who turned to the Shadow because she enjoyed causing agony. Semi-Rage doesn't just kill her victims, she studies them, breaks them, bends their minds until they scream out in love for their torturer. In the books, she becomes one of the most psychologically terrifying antagonists, and while the show hasn't yet shown her full hand, she's been confirmed as present in Season 3. If she acquires the complete Domination Bands, bracelets, and collar, her aim wouldn't be just to control Rand, it would be to erase him. Let's step back for a second. The male Adam isn't just a magical collar, it's a metaphor. In the Wheel of Time, power is never just about how much you have, it's about what you do with it, who controls it, and whether you let it define you. For Rand, the bands symbolize the terrifying loss of free will. He's already battling the creeping madness from side in, the crushing pressure of prophecy, and the weight of the world's expectations. The idea that someone could collar him like a dog, it's the ultimate violation. In Episode 6, Rand's emotional breakdown after accidentally killing a little girl named Alara while fighting off an ambush is heartbreaking. He tries to use the one power to bring her back, screaming, "I can do anything." But he can't. He can't undo death. He can't rewrite destiny. And that rage and grief make him more vulnerable than ever. It's in these moments that we see how fragile Rand is beneath all the fire and thunder. And that fragility, that's exactly what the Black Aja is counting on. Now, that Moghedien has the bracelet. It's only a matter of time before the collar resurfaces too. Once the complete Domination Bands are in the hands of the Shadow, the race will be on. Who will use it? Could it be Moghedien herself, or Semirage, who in the books used them to nearly break Rand's mind? The show might be speeding things up, combining plot lines, and throwing Forsaken into the mix earlier than expected. That means anything can happen, and in this world, anything usually does. The Domination Bands are more than just a new magical device. They're a symbol of fear, of manipulation, and of the war being waged not just on the battlefield, but inside Rand himself. Whether he faces them now or later, the bands will test every bit of strength he has, mental, emotional, and magical. Because what's scarier than death in the Wheel of Time? Losing yourself. And with Forsaken like Moghedien already in motion and betrayals lurking in dreams and shadows, the fight for Rand's soul is just beginning. In the words of Loyal, he came like the wind touched everything, and like the wind was gone. Let's hope he doesn't vanish before he gets the chance to change the world. Imagine this, Rand standing on the battlefield, lightning falling from the sky, not to save his friends, but to annihilate them. Rand walking into Tar Valon, not to ally with the Aes Sedai, but to rip the White Tower apart stone by stone with Saidin. Rand turning to the Seanchan, not to stop them, but to bind himself to the Crystal Throne, fulfilling their version of prophecy in blood. And it wouldn't be Rand gone mad. It would be Rand under control, his body and power being used like a puppet on strings. He wouldn't be the Dragon Reborn. He'd be the Dark One's instrument, a living nuke in human form. Let's be real. Everyone in the Wheel of Time world is already terrified that Rand might go mad from using Saidin, the male half of the One Power. It's unstable. It's tainted. Until later, and the last time someone like him lost control, it caused the breaking of the world. But if he were collared by the Domination Bands, this wouldn't be accidental destruction. This would be planned, calculated, weaponized. That's a massive difference. People would look up at the dragon, the prophesied savior of the world, and instead of hope, they'd see death falling from his hands, and they wouldn't know he was being controlled. Imagine the world turning against him, his allies abandoning him, the prophecy shattered, not because it failed, but because it was twisted into serving the Shadow's will. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all, and if you're as obsessed with the Wheel of Time as I am, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a breakdown, theory, or lore dive. Until next time, may the light illumine your path, and may the shadow never find your dreams. Thanks for watching.